Halftime at the Levine Center as the Queens women trail Lincoln Memorial 38-25. And back in attendance for a huge top 5 showdown for his former team is former Queens forward Daniel Camps. He came off of the winningest team in program history last year, went 30-4, South Atlantic Conference regular season, South Atlantic Conference tournament champions. Season ended in the Sweet 16, though. What do you remember about the regional final?
Oh, the crowd was amazing. The fans were great. It was a tough loss, of course, but it was a fun environment to be a part of.
I remember you fouled out in that game, and I remember as you picked yourself up off the floor, you took a second. I think at that point you had known this was going to be the end of it. What were you thinking in that moment? Were you thinking about kind of your entire career? What was it, and what it all meant to you?
I just soaked up my whole entire career that moment. I knew it was over. Well, for me, I still have faith in my teammates, but for me, I knew it was over. My last time being on this court.
No matter what, even if you had won.
No matter what, it was my last time on the court. And just to be able to play in front of this fan base that been with me since I came here in my junior year was something special to me.
All right, let's talk about the biggest highlight, or at least what you've told me is the biggest highlight of your collegiate career, more so than the conference championships, more so than the 30-win season. You made the Sports Center top 10, 3 different times for highlight reel dunks, once while you were at Queens. Sized up a kid from Lee's McRae and punched on him, I think, as the kids on the street say. Take me through that play. It was in transition. You got a pass from Agassi. I don't think we have the highlight here, but take me through that play, what you remember from it. Folks can go and find it online very easily.
I remember I went for a rebound, offensive rebound at the end over here, and then didn't get the putback. Ref didn't call foul, kind of jogged back a little bit. Next thing you know it, Ike gets the perfect steal, launches the court to me, and all I see is a guy between me and the basket, and the rest is just history. Yeah.
Did you know you'd be on the Sports Center top 10?
I had no clue, but I always have faith in you to get me there, because you always told me I get a good highlight, you'll get me on there. So
I did tell you that.
I really appreciate it.
I may or may not have reached out during the media timeout right after that happened.
Yeah.
May or may not have done that. 29 points, a career high in the South Atlantic Conference Championship game to beat Lincoln Memorial. That was just a remarkable performance. You were unstoppable that day, time after time, driving. I remember Chris Perry was guarding you for the most part, and he just couldn't handle you, and that's a heck of a player who was once a D1 standout. What do you remember most from that game, that experience, and winning the SAC tournament MVP?
I had a chip on my shoulder the whole time. I ended up getting honorable mention from the awards that year, but I felt like I deserved at least to be on the team. So the whole weekend I was just trying to prove something, like I did mean something this season, and I wanted to go out there and just go and get this win and win this championship, and we did.
I'll put my Queens insider hat on. I remember that week at the team hotel, the friendly, outgoing person that you are, the smile that you have, always agreeing to do these interviews. You were entirely unapproachable. And I remember walking down at breakfast one day, and I saw you, and I said, "Hey, Camps, what's going on?" And you looked up. You were mid-eating a waffle or something, and you looked up, and you just gave me this look. You were like, and I was like, well, what's going on with Dan Camps? He's in the zone. Yeah. Is that the best zone you've ever been in?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what was going on with me during the whole weekend, but I was just zoned out and just focusing on getting a win, and really bit badly. Yeah.
Tell me about your professional career. You had a stint in Malaysia. We've spoken about that on the air briefly. I remember before the Wake Forest game, but you have since signed a deal to go to Australia. When's that happening? What league? Give us the specifics.
I leave the end of February. The league starts in April. I'm going to Melbourne, playing for the Diamond Valley Eagles. Okay. So it's the Southeastern Atlantic League, or Southeastern SEBL, the Australian league there. So second division there. Definitely give me a chance to show myself and enjoy the country. Definitely gives me new surroundings.
Toughest thing about going overseas from a culture standpoint?
Food.
Why?
I love food. Food is definitely just food. I mean,
well, they have food.
Oh yeah, I mean Melbourne food is definitely. I've heard a lot of stuff about Melbourne.
Have you been there yet, or is it going to be your first time?
I've never been there. It's the first time going there. A lot of people tell me it's an artsy place, and the food is amazing. Like, whole different kinds of food. Unlike when I was in Malaysia, where it was just had to focus on McDonald's and Outback wings. So.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the cost of shipping? I'd love to get a Dan Camps jersey sent in the mail.
For you, you don't have to worry about that. I'll definitely.
Oh, okay. That comes with the pro contract? Okay. Dan Camps is here with us. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit about this year's team. You're obviously in town to watch what some have called the biggest game in Queens history. I don't know that I'd go there. The regional final last year was pretty big. But this program has never before been the number 1 ranked team. Last year in the coaches poll, got up to number 3, got up to number 2 in the media poll. This year, though, starting number 2 allows them to arise to number 1. How do you size up this matchup outside of you and Jared Hendricks for Queens, Chris Perry, Luke Choice, Paul Woodson for LMU? These are pretty much the same teams from last year.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great matchup. I mean, definitely whenever Queens and LMU gets together, it's going to be a legendary matchup, especially after last year, the way things ended and the way things were, us going 2-2. So it's definitely going to be a statement game out here for these guys right here, but I know they're ready for it. They're definitely up for the challenge.
What do you most remember about Lincoln Memorial? What was it that just always seemed to give you fits? Last year obviously split the 4 meetings, but the year before, when you were here on a top 10 team, they won all 3.
Yeah. They don't have a dead period. They just keep going at you no matter what. Like, they'll miss a couple shots, but it's not consistent. It's not in a row. So, like, they'll maybe miss, like, 1 or 2, but it's not going to happen very often, and that's tough. Once they get a lead, it's going to be hard to chip back out, chip it away.
I'd ask for a prediction, but I think I know which way you're going to go.
Yeah, Queens all day. Run it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Dan Camp spent 2 seasons here at Queens, his junior and senior year after transferring in from Northern Kentucky, 2 years as starter. South Atlantic Conference honorable mention, all-conference last year, SAC tournament MVP. You name the accolades. This guy, he's done it. It's a pleasure having you. It's good to see you around the building. It's good to see you here for this game. Go overseas, make Queens proud.
Definitely.
Send me back a Dan Camp's jersey. And I would love to see some more highlight clips with the announcers saying this is the Dan Camp show.
Oh, definitely.
Because that did happen while you were in Malaysia.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Camp, thanks so much, man.
Appreciate it.